Welcome to the New Orleans Television Internetwork System. Programming will begin in 6 minutes. Live broadcasting from New Orleans, Louisiana. On Facebook simultaneously or simulcasting, Facebook Bob Bockelman and YouTube R space REVUE. Programming will begin in 5 minutes. Our hour-long program this evening has been each week at this time. Our favorite Talk to the Tarot, featuring our lovely psychic medium, Robin Denon, who will join us live from California. And I think we've been impressed that we will have two callers this evening, made reservations, so that's great. So if you're watching us for the first time, you will see how it's done. Starting in less than 5 minutes, Talk to the Tarot. And we will repeat this right when we start, but if you wish to call in, either you will need to call in, well, tonight's going to be tough. The first caller is calling at 6:15, and that we do 15-minute increments. Next one is at 6:30. So there's a possibility of 6:45, or in Central Daylight Time, I'm using the Pacific Time, it'll be 8:45. 8:45, there should be a free space. However, if you're watching the show and you see that our callers, one or both of our callers do not call, you're welcome to call the number, and we will do our best to put you on and let you speak to the tarot reader. Okay? Great. So again, that number will be 504-383-3654, and that will be displayed on the screen during the entire show. In addition to calling in, public chat or comment is live now as we speak on both that same Facebook channel or the YouTube channel. So if you care to send us a message of any type, long as it's clean and not hateful, we would appreciate it. We will try our best to bring those or mention those on screen, as long as it doesn't interfere with during a reading. So we do ask that you don't call. If you decide to make a call for any reason, do not call between 6:15 and 6:30 unless there's no caller, and do not call between 6:30 and 6:45 unless, again, the other caller doesn't show. In 3 minutes, we'll go live. We'll talk to the tarot. Do want to mention Robin's contact information will scroll, as you see, across the bottom of the screen during the entire show. And that's Robin, spelled with a Y, ROBYN, DENNEN, at gmail.com. So if you want any question after the show, you'd like to make a reservation to be on a future show, anything you want, you send it to that Robin Denon at gmail.com. And that'll be on the screen the entire time. And we'll try and remind Robin to say it, because it's always pleasant to hear it instead of reading a little fine print. Again, we have 2 minutes to going on program. This week, we've been kind of shy of program. I'll just go over that real quickly. It's a situation where guests are harder and harder to come by, even though a lot of people are home. I don't know if it's the anxiety or the depression or the fear, but it's very hard to get guests. So if you know of any that want to come on any of our shows that we have, we have 15, 3 are chef shows, please refer them to us. So if you'd like to join or tell us of a show you'd like to see, we'll either try and create it either for you if you wish to participate, or we'll try and do it ourselves. So don't hesitate. And to me, it's Bob at rrevue.net. That's my email, or Bob Bockelman on Facebook. 1 minute to live. Well, we all live. 1 minute to program beginning. This is again New Orleans TV Internetwork System, bringing you live hourly shows day and evening of each week. As we get guests, we put the shows together. So That's all we need to do is get those guests to be more responsive. Some of them are wanting to wait till after the situation passes over, and we understand that. We're only understanding it. So, but certainly we would like to keep you all entertained by being able to provide you with entertaining, informational, sometimes educational shows that will help pass the time when you sequestered. Okay, folks, it is 8 p.m. Welcome to Talk to the Tarot, our Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time show, in which you will have the opportunity to see and watch, and when opportunity presents itself, call in and have your tarot read, your cards, and or be able to speak to someone on these situations. Now we have someone calling now. No, we're not going to take right now because, as we said, sorry about that, folks. The problem is I have to keep my open line, and that may or may not be a caller. If you are a caller, please send us a chat or public comment request on the platform you're working, because as we mentioned, we do have two reserved callers already, one coming up in less than 15 minutes and the other the next 15 minutes thereafter. And we have to give them first priority. But if you'd like to come on after them, or if either one of those do not show, we'll be happy to put you on. But as we said, we need you to, instead of calling during this time, go ahead and please put a public chat comment or request on Facebook, Bob Bockelman, or YouTube, excuse me, not YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, R space REVUE, whichever platform you're watching for, go ahead and request. I'm hoping that was the call as opposed to a robocaller. Okay, enough about that. I'm sorry for that interruption, but better just be conservative rather than put someone else on that's not related. Okay, so we're ready to bring is the mysterious lady in red. I'm resident psychic medium, Miss Robin Denton. How are you this evening, dear?
I'm great, or as well as can be expected at this point.
Right. I'm glad you clarified that. But I'm glad to hear that you're great, but understandably, none of us are really great. Now you're back home, is that right? Last time you've been visiting?
I'm back home for a couple of weeks, and then I'll be back in Southern California.
Excellent. Okay, great. Well, it'll give you a little bit of respite that you need, especially because when you were down there, you would not just being down there, you were visiting a sick relative, and that's always problematic, even in good times, but even worse in the current times.
Yeah.
What else can you tell us before we get our first caller? Anything else we need to know or consider?
Well, I'm going to tell you one story first, and it's not a psychic story, but I was standing in Costco and I noticed one guy had 3 gallons of vodka in his cart. So I think that's how he's going to spend his time at home.
One for each week, huh?
Yeah, right. He needs a couple more if he's going to make it until.
Well, I'm hoping you can stretch it out to a week. I mean,
I was noticing Costco had more booze in it than I ever seen, other than in the holidays. So.
Do you think it's less people buying it, or do you think they're just overstocking?
I think they're buying it, to be honest with you. Okay. I know I would be buying it at this point.
Many breweries are going to convert to making hand sanitizers as long as the demand, and I think during this situation, the demand is going to be strong, if not stronger than usual, because as it drags on, people are going to get more and more cautious, and unfortunately,
that's me. Sorry, I thought I didn't turn off my phone. Sorry.
No problem.
I'll go. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes. But I just heard that today that someone's going to use the vodka for hand sanitizer too. So it's interesting you said that.
Now to use the vodka, the companies that make it will use the alcohol into real.
Oh.
Yeah, no, they're not converting the booze into it.
No, I mean the
But
people that are buying it are using that for
well,
disinfection. Yeah.
that's been some horrible comment on Facebook that, well, I've got one bottle of sanitizer, that'll be for my hands, but I got 3 bottles of whatever alcohol. So I'm really fixed. I'm keeping it outside and inside from me.
I like that.
I mean, it is funny, but it's really hard to laugh under the circumstances. But we
Right.
do need a little touch of humor. So, anything, let's see, anything else we need to chit chat about before the first call? First call is coming at 8:15, I think you said, right?
Yeah. 8:15. And then the other one's at 8:35. So it may be a very short reading if someone does call in.
Okay.
I was going to talk about premonition today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to look and see if, while you're doing that, I'm going to look down a little bit and see if anyone left a voicemail on
Okay.
my machine to see if it was for that. Let me see if they did that. If they
Okay.
did that, then we'll get an indication. But go ahead, let's start. Why don't you start?
Okay, so with premonition, the definition, it's a clairvoyant or clairaudient experience, such as a dream, which resonates some event in the future. And one of the things that when I see my spirits, the one that is kind of my grim reaper, it's my great-great-grandmother that shows up, and she actually materializes. But I realize it's really kind of a premonition or an explanation, and I don't have it in dreams. She materializes, but for me, it's the premonition of death, that I know that death is coming soon. So that's kind of one of the ways premonitions come to me. But I've also had situations where, like with my daughter, it happens a lot with my daughter because we're very in tune with each other. That one time I was talking to her, and I had this. I actually called her because I had this really strong premonition something was going to happen to her. It was going to be something good, and it was.
I believe this is our call.
Okay.
Let's check.
Okay.
Call from Tamara.
Good evening and welcome to Talk to the Tarot.
Hi, Bob. It's Tamara. How are you?
Great. By any chance, did you call a little earlier?
I did
Oh, okay.
on that number. I'm sorry, Bob.
No. I just feel bad. And, no problem. I couldn't pick up because we were in the midst of conversation. Plus, I was afraid it might have been someone else, which I'm happy that they would call. But as I asked in the beginning to please hold your calls and let's hear the reserved caller till after those 2 segments. So I'm glad to hear it was you because I didn't get a chance to check to see. I saw no voicemail, but I thought I saw the same number. So we're real pleased that you called back, and it relieved my mind that it wasn't someone else trying to get in that wanted to be on and we weren't able to accommodate them. But before we do anything else, of course, because the main thing is not to chit chat with me, there's our friend Robin. Hopefully you see her. Is that correct? Tamara?
I'm here, Bob, and I turned off everything Wi-Fi, everything on my phone.
Okay. Can you see Robin?
Actually, I'm not on my laptop.
Well, let's see. Listen up. Okay, listen up, Robin. Say hello. Let's see. Make sure she can hear you.
Hi, Tamara. I can hear her. It's a little bit echoey, but I can hear her.
I can hear you, Robin.
Good. Okay, well, that's all we need you two to hear and talk. So I'm going to keep quiet unless you all say something. I got to open my big mouth. And why don't we start? Why don't we take it from there? All right, ladies, it's all yours. Thank you.
Okay, Tamara.
Thank you, Bob.
I don't remember what we were talking about. I have to kind of clear my head. But first of all, I'm going to tell you, you are going to have to make a decision. Was this about, did we talk about your health last time? Is that what it was? It was about your knee, right?
That's what it was,
yeah,
yeah.
So you are, they're still coming up for you. And you still are going to have to make a decision. And I believe, are you doing PT? Are you doing physical therapy too? At this point, I can't remember.
Gone into physical. I've not gone into physical therapy yet, Robin. I got a phone call today that what the orthopedic surgeon wanted me to do, which was, a very simple procedure. The insurance company has denied, so I have to contact the surgeon again, because basically it would come down to surgery, because they said this particular procedure was not, quote, medically necessary, but apparently they're going to cover it if I do surgery, which they're a really big fan of.
Right. And I remember I saw surgery last time, that you were going to have surgery. Yeah, I mean, that's what I saw.
I'm over my mouth because I remember this too as well. Do you know the name of the two procedures, the surgical procedure and the smaller procedure that you said they will not cover? Do you know the name of that? I was in health claims for 30 years, so I might recognize it. And I was just wondering.
Well, the simple procedure, Bob, would be simply they do an injection. It's a gel injection, and it could last anywhere.
Right,
from a couple of months
temporary
to a couple of years,
and
which would be great because right now it's bone on bone.
Yeah, is it a steroid? Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know if it's a steroid? That's the gel that they're injecting. Do you know if it's a steroid gel?
It was that's the one they wanted, I believe, to do, Bob, and that's the one that the insurance company said, denied, not medically necessary. With it being bone on bone, obviously something has to be done. Okay,
Well,
and I get that. No big deal. As I say, continue on, move ahead. There's bigger fish to fry.
Well, I would also, while you're waiting, I would ask your surgeon to provide the record that I would do an appeal. Because you can appeal any denial, whether it's happened or not. It doesn't have to be after the fact. And I would ask him to write, hopefully, a letter of support and/or provide medical records that you can provide to the medical director of that insurance company. Because that doesn't sound correct if you're explaining the problem you're having and they won't allow that, which is a common resolution. As I tell you, I had one where they drained this. Anyway, I'm wasting too much time, but I would suggest appealing the decision or the early, it might just, it might not be at the highest level that kind of whoever you're dealing with, might be, no disrespect, but a lower claims level. And they, it would have to be appealed to the medical director for his or her final consideration. I would do that in the interim. Even if you go through it and they deny it, you would already have that in the works, and maybe they will reconsider it and pay it after the fact. Okay. Now let's get back to you two. I'm sorry for that interruption.
Okay, Tamara, and I remember what I read last time, that I expect that you will have a surgery. It may not be right away, but I would say less than 2 years. So if you do choose, if they're only going to pay for the surgery, well, that makes sense. If they won't pay for the injections, then you're going to have to make another decision. And maybe it's medication, maybe it's doing other topical stuff. But I'm going to tell you, this is where you're at right now. You are absolutely right that you are going to have to make that decision. And I know it's not going to be easy. However, the strength that you will get out of it, whatever you choose, it's better than doing nothing. So I'm going to definitely tell you, and I think I told you this last time, was do not wait or do not hesitate to do something, because you don't have to be in as much pain as you are. There are things that you could do, even if it's temporary, because my feeling is, even though it's temporary, that eventually there will probably be a surgery of some kind. Now, is it just a small one? It could be just something small. My expectation, if it is if they're going to do the knee, it was the knee, right? Isn't that where it was?
Right.
Okay, so they may do something more. What is it called? Arthroscopic? Is that how you say it, Bob?
Yes, orthoscopic, which is what I had about 10 years ago, or maybe a little bit over 10 years, where I had like an orthoscopic surgery. Yeah.
Well, would they go back in and then clean it out? Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I to be honest with you, it's what the doctor says, but to be honest with you, I think you would be happy with it. I am not a doctor,
right?
I'm not a doctor, but if you're asking me how you would feel about it personally, I think that is. You should always listen to your doctor, of course. But from what I'm seeing, I saw the surgery. I don't believe it's going to be major surgery. So if they're going to go back and do what they did before, they may have missed something. Or there may be like. I even want to say there might be a bone chip, or you said you had did you say you had a bone spur? I don't remember what you. Did you say
bone spur? Yeah. Robin. And the thing is that you're right. I did have surgery back about 10, 11 years ago where they did orthoscopic, and I found out just about a month ago that they were like, oh yeah, by the way, they went in, they cleaned out, blah, blah, blah. And but now it's totally, bone on bone, and it's a severe, arthritis issue. So whatever they did, did not solve the problem. And now it obviously is worse. And, not being able to work and stand for long periods of time, stuff like that. So, yeah.
I have one of those on my right knee, so I'm very familiar with it. So what I do, you have the Eight of Wands, and wands can either be work or it can be health. And I really believe these are about health. And you had the Two of Wands covering you, which is, of course, the decision that needs to be made. But the Eight is saying that what decision you make is going to be the right one. It's going to be, this is something that will probably have long-term benefits to it. There will be, of course, in the healing process, there will be some pain, and I think we talked about that too in the last reading. But I do feel success regarding whatever you decide. Now, even if you decide not to do the surgery at first, you're probably still going to have to do the surgery at some point. And it's kind of like it's better to do it when you're younger than when you're older. You're probably going to have a better result because of it. So if you're questioning it, either way is going to help it. But if you don't do the surgery, it may come up in the future. I pretty much can guarantee it will probably come up in the future.
And that's because arthritis can continue to increase and decrease your capacity. So even if nothing else happened, just the onset of arthritis as it goes year for year for year, or month for month for month, continues the deterioration and the aggravation. So it's gonna definitely get worse and be much worse as you get older if you have to have a procedure. Then they might have to do a knee replacement or something much more severe, to the whole situation. Right. So I definitely, now the only thing, if you're still hesitant, I'll make one more suggestion and get out of here again, is that if you decide to do the major surgery as opposed to the minor one, even maybe the minor one might not be that expensive. I'm not worried about, I am worried about that, but today with deductibles and all, who knows? But let's say you don't, and regardless, you opt for the major procedure. I would have most companies will pay for a second opinion by another surgeon, another orthopedic surgeon. And I would go there just for your comfort level, because he or she might, Tara, maybe we get by with just doing a small thing now. And that doctor can't take you away from your doctor, the ruling on second opinions, but he or she can certainly confirm and explain why, if not, why not. So that'll give you a much better level of confidence before you go into the procedure.
Sure, of course, absolutely. And that's what I'm trying. I mean, I've already had, major hip surgery when I broke the hip, as we discussed last week. At this point now, I guess my biggest thing, Robin, is just I understand, the knee is, well, the whole left side is racked up, okay? I mean, it's that, between the heart issues and which we still don't know what's going on with that 100%. And then the broken hip, which all started all of this. The biggest thing for me right now is that, I'm unable to work. And what I used to do, which was basically sitting behind a desk, but it was still standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down, walking. Now I can't stand for long periods of time, so those type of jobs are out of the equation. Sitting for any long periods of time, I can do. It takes longer to get down, stuff like that. Those have been difficult to find. So I guess the biggest question I have is that I'm trying to, help my family as much as I can, and I'm doing obviously as much as I can. I help out, around the house, and I do stuff with the grandchildren and stuff like that. But it comes down to the simple fact of monetarily, what will I be able to provide, myself to help, the rest of the family, if you will. So that honestly is my biggest question is,
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I do not, the likelihood of you going back to work is fine. You would really have to find the right job, and it's not going to come overnight. It's going to take a while to find that right job. It may even take you up to a year.
Yeah.
So I want you to seriously think about finding something you can do at home. And some of the things that comes up for me is kind of like not paralegal, the court reporter. But you may need a little bit of education to go along with that, or technical skills. I don't, to be honest with you, if you're not on disability, if you can get on it, I would, because financially that probably makes the most sense with you right now. But it's right. There are some. Your body is.
Thing, Rob, is that I've applied for disability, and this is where I probably made the mistake. Okay, was that when I first broke my hip, the hospital called and said, "Here, this person particularly called me and said, would you like to apply for disability?" And I'm like, "No, I just broke a hip. I'm fine. I can go back to work. I can do, certain things." But unfortunately, that did not happen. So that being said, I applied for disability. They denied me. They said, "Oh, well, a broken hip doesn't qualify you for disability. Our doctor said that, you can do this or that." But with that being said, in the letter, they said, "We don't know what you did before, so we can't make it the final determination." I contacted an attorney.
Very good.
And they've said, "Well, here, what your, denial letter said. You went ahead and filed the appeal, which you should have done." And now, since obviously the government is, shut down, no fault of anyone per se. It's, whatever this is that's going on in the world. At this point, I'm at a standstill. So this has been since July of last year when I first applied, denied in January, appealed in February. Now we're in March, and they're like, well, we're kind of not doing anything right now because nothing can be, because everything is shut down, if you will. So, I think my biggest thing is that, do you foresee any type of, light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so legally, it looks like you're going to get a positive response. However, getting there is going to take a while. I mean, I hate to tell you this. I hate giving bad news. It could happen as early as August, but it may be into next year before you get everything. I do believe you will get retro. So don't despair. And so just know that. I don't know if you're collecting unemployment because of all of this, but I will tell you that that it does look, legal things look positive for you, but you have everything is delayed all over your reading. But it feels like that's what's going to happen. Now, as far as doing any kind of work, like you said, you're doing something for the family, so there is a intrinsic value on that. But the next thing I would look at, when you're on disability, you can't work. So I think, isn't that correct? Or you have limited work. So I think that whatever you do, it's going to be kind of more of the family or helping in a different way and there may be the financial side. There isn't a whole lot of it. Let's just put it that way. There's not a whole lot of it. And what is there, it's all reverse, which means it slows it down. And again, you are going back to work is just it. I can tell it's going to be an upward hill battle, and I don't think it's worth it, to be honest with you. I think you'd be in too much pain, and you're going to have recovery period and all of that. But from what I'm seeing, you should just accept that you're going to have a different lifestyle now.
Right. And my 2 cents again. First of all, in regard to Social Security, even before this situation, 95%, this is factual, 95% of first applicants are denied routinely because of the cutbacks years ago that they started putting in. So that's the easiest way, is to immediately deny everyone and hope that they don't come back. Secondarily, appeals. Now, the other thing is, I know you said you contact an attorney. I would double check while you have the time, see if you could verify an attorney that specializes in Social Security or disability determinations. Because I think if you use him or her, you will have a much better chance in your appeal as opposed to doing it yourself. I don't know if you just did it yourself or what, because as in anything, if you have some form of legal representation, you're in a better situation. Again, Robin's correct. Yeah. Once you're approved, you will get retroactive to that date of approval. So there will be a nice windfall then. But of course, meanwhile, you've got to live without any financial support until such time, which does drag.
Exactly.
Bob. I think I might have asked you this. I agree with Robin wholeheartedly that you need, while you're off now, not only because of your situation, your medical, but because of the whole scenario. Are there any other things you have never, like a passion that you want to do, whether it's creating, whether it's painting, whether it's music? You may be able to turn some of that into a home business. It might not pay what you had before, but it'll give you something. And you can do it online, easy as pie. Have you ever explored any of that?
Bob, that could affect her disability, so I would not recommend that.
Okay.
Well,
she could explore it. She just couldn't seek any financial remuneration.
Absolutely. I think I said that. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so you have to be really careful when you give advice, because and every state is a little bit different. So, depending on if they're getting state disability, I've had this experience. So again, the other thing I want to mention, that you will have a positive outcome. I'm going to tell you, this is all going to be a positive. It may take up to a year, as well as you're going to go on a trip. So so I don't know if you're doing something major, but it looks like it's going to be a car trip somewhere you're going to drive. It may be family, but it's going to be, it would be more like a family reunion or something to that effect. So I think it's going to be a nice break for you, but there is going to be a trip coming up for you.
Right.
Okay. Are you far away from some of your family? Like some are in the north and some are in the south?
I have, well, my sister lives in the south. Well, she lives in Kentucky.
Okay.
And, I talk to her every day, if not via face-to-face, if you will. That, I talk to her other ways, and then I've got other family in Michigan.
Oh, do you? Okay, so I do believe that that there's going to be a trip, and like I said, it does feel like it's family related.
A trip.
Yeah, a trip, and I do believe it's family related.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because the thing is, Robin, is that my goal is that in November I want to go visit my sister and her 2 children, and my sister is more like a daughter to me.
Uh-huh.
I raised her for the first 5 years of her life, and we've been talking about, me being able to go visit her in November, because she wants to do a Thanksgiving.
I would tell you to go because you're going to have
her.
I was going to tell you to definitely go. Go ahead. Hello?
My nephews are 3 and 1.
Say that again.
My nephews, they're ages 3 and 1.
Oh, like I said, you go on the trip. It will be a great trip, and you're going to have a lot of warm feelings. It's going to uplift your spirit.
Yeah, that's because I saw my nephew and my sister back in 2017. That was the last time I saw her. And again, like I said, she's a very, I consider her more my daughter than I do my sister because we're 12 years apart, and I raised her for the first 5 years of her life, and been talking about trying to get together, but I was like, well, we'll have to see, what happens, as far as, this disability and, my husband's job, and if he can get the time off. And I mean, they're only 8 hours away, so it's not, 21 plus hours away, like New Orleans.
Right. My favorite place to go.
So,
y'all want to come in now? Don't come now.
Well, now, Bob, listen, I used to live in New Orleans, okay?
No,
I know
but
plenty.
But we're the highest, we're the 3rd highest increase in the disability in the virus. So you don't want to come now.
No, I don't. I mean, you can say hi to Lenny for me, okay? You to work with him.
He's listening.
You can say hi to Lenny all you want, but no, I'm not coming down there anytime soon. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Because I'm sorry.
Well,
I don't.
Once it's over,
I don't.
that should make you have your surgery quicker so you can rehab to go on your trip at least in November, if not visit us as well. Okay?
Yeah. November is the goal, hon, is to go to see my sister, also known as my daughter. So, yes.
Yeah, I can see. You probably will go on that trip. I think that with your husband, you guys will work it out. I do believe that, even if he takes a shorter trip than you. But the trip is going to happen, and enjoy it. You're going to so enjoy it. It's going to be really an uplift for you, very much so.
Thank you, Robin, so very much. I so enjoyed talking with you and Bob.
Well,
and go to the next caller. Enjoy. And hopefully we can talk soon, okay?
That would be great.
Keep us posted about your progress with regard to your medical suits, especially the surgery, okay?
I definitely will, Bob, and please say hello to Lenny.
Well, Lenny is
listening.
Lenny is listening. He's our administrative tech, so he's hearing you. So I'm sure he says hello.
Okay. Excellent. We'll let him know that I'm speaking with him and, talking music and stuff like that. But thank you again, Robin, and thank you, Bob, and I hope you both have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, very good. So us again. I'm sorry to intrude in the conversation.
Oh, no problem. Sometimes we have to be really careful what we say because there are.
Send to me at any time. I don't take offense, and I'm just
Good.
I'm
Good.
just trying to help have some of that background with regard to health claims and all that. I know how some of the people have progressed or not progressed and some of those things, but I've been so far removed that, years ago I resigned, I retired. Oh, looks sounds like we got another call
Veronica's
on.
coming on, huh?
Call from.
Good evening and welcome to Talk to the Tarot. May I ask who's calling?
Hi, this is Veronica.
Hi, well, I don't know where you're calling from. What area are you calling from, may I ask?
Portland.
Portland. Oh my goodness. So you're out on the West Coast as well. So it's early in the evening for you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we won't waste any more time. Let me bring Robin on and you to start your hellos, introductions, and let's see what has to happen.
Hi, Veronica.
Okay.
How are you doing tonight?
So good. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. So I'm going to tell you. So someone just came. Someone just came in. It feels like it would be someone that's like a brother, or at the same level as a brother. So it would be. This is spirit. So it's someone that has passed. So it could be a friend, but they would be a brother. Usually would be a peer, but it feels like a friend that may. Did you have a friend that passed? Feels male.
A friend that passed that was male.
You did.
A friend that passed that was male.
Or a cousin.
It wasn't recently, but when I was 16.
Okay, so you had a friend that passed at 16 when you were 16. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so the reason why I know he's here, there must be a message, or okay, the reason why he's here is because we're going to go off track, just to let you know. The reason why he's here is because he wants a message I think he wants a message to a parent. Does he have one of his parents still alive? Do you know, or is it too far? Are you too far removed? Do you have, so it's been a long time since you talked to the parents. I'm just letting you know he came in. And for whatever reason, sometimes I'm a portal and sometimes people come in. I think it's more that he wants, I know he's here, that he wants to recognize you and your relationship with him. Now, did you have a strong friendship at that point?
I'm sorry. The connection is. Could you repeat that?
Yes. Did you have a strong relationship with him?
No. I'm trying to. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Really sad when he.
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to tell you. There is definitely someone that's come in tonight. I feel like he's a peer. I'm not sure when he passed. I'm getting more like he was in his 30s, maybe late 20s when he passed. And it's either a friend or it could be maybe someone that's cousin-like. Not necessarily someone directly related to you, but someone that's closely related to you, or if not, someone that you felt there was a real kinship with. I'm letting you know that they came in, they're acknowledging you, and they want, not that they spend time with you, but there was a kindred spirit with you and this person. So I don't know. I'm just going to let you know he came in. I'm just going to let you know. That's it. He came in for a reason. My thinking is he came in to be acknowledged and to let you know that he still remembers you, even though he's crossed. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to start the reading. He came in. I can't. When they come in, they won't leave me alone until I talk about them. So first of all, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So I love the Wheel of Fortune because that means movement in your life. And even though your life isn't being very moved right now because of the situation, you can't expect that happening. So when you go back to work or whatever is going, when your norm comes, this is a time, this is going to be a period probably until December, September to December, that you can start making movement. So you've been thinking about doing something. This is time to accelerate what you were thinking about doing. And more of it's going to be is doing the background work that needs to be done so that you can have the manifestation. And even though it's not, a lot of times with the hangman, what happens is that you feel stuck. This isn't about feeling stuck. This is feeling like, oh, I can do this. This is not going to be that hard for me to do. And so you should take advantage of it right now. So if you're thinking about, it doesn't feel necessarily about work. There may be a component of it, but it is something that is kind of in like the learning or something in doing something a little bit different than you have been doing. So which comes back to learning. This would be definitely, if you've been curious about something, this is a good time to start that. And it will move very quickly. And I love it when things move quickly instead of being stuck in it. You are having some, I think everybody has a little bit of stress or a little bit of frustration right now. Don't take it personally, okay? Because it feels like it may be. There also may be are you in a? You're not in a relationship. Are you in a relationship right now, or want to be in a relationship? I should say.
I am single.
Yeah,
I'm very single right now.
Are you? Do you have a crush on someone?
Oh,
Yes, but I'm working to get over it. It's not going to work out.
I thought that might be the case.
working.
Hopefully he's not married.
Oh, no.
Okay, good. And I see the crush, and I know this is not necessarily, when we have crushes and then they don't pan out, sometimes it's a little frustrating. And I know you're trying to get over them. I can feel it. And this is a good time with that Wheel of Fortune. One of the things you could work on is creating another relationship in your life. Sometimes the way to get over someone is to find someone new. That's not always suggested, but sometimes it does work. I feel like most of the time it works. Along with, you have the Judgment card crossing you. So this is if there is something you're interested in, definitely trust your gut. It feels like you're an empath. So you trust your gut. When you feel like there's something, you don't listen to it all the time. I can tell. You ignore it. You're one of those who ignores it. And so you need to start trusting it. And then if you want to try something new, I would do some reading about empaths and for you, because you are one. And I would say to you that some of the things that you feel or what your sensitivities to groups of people come to sometimes intimidate you. And so a little bit of understanding the field, you need not to own what's going on with you in your gut. Sometimes it is not about you. It's someone else that's going on. I bet you could read, because what I see is that you're not developed in that way, but you could develop in that way. And so instead of taking it on as if it's your problem, I see this, you do this. Instead of taking it on as your problem, or you're taking it on as if someone was picking on you or such, and be able to identify what is your stuff and what is someone else's stuff. And because you're so sensitive, you have not done that yet. And it's really important. It would make your life easier if you did that. And, especially like with relationships, being able to judge relationships and what the real purpose of that relationship or what they really are looking for in your relationship with you, that this would be something that's important for you to learn to define and identify. It's important, Veronica. It's really, really important for you. Okay. I also see, I feel a lot about relationships are kind of you've got a little bit of, you have a couple hard spots in it. I will tell you, you need to look at, instead of looking at the people that and a lot of us do this, we look at the person who doesn't like us rather than all the people that do. And you do have a lot of people around you that really support you, and it may not always feel that way. And I think that sometimes works on your self-confidence. And And that's because you're really sensitive and you're not reading it always the right way. Like I said, that this is a time of movement. You are going to have to be patient, because with the movement, you have to do the work behind it. Yeah, you're going to meet someone. Okay, I want you to know, and it may be it's not going to be at work, but it may be something through work. But this man is older than you. I mean, he's quite a bit older than you. He's probably about 10 years older than you. And he looks like you need to give him a chance, because he's probably not, when you meet him, you may not feel like he's your type. And I want you to be very careful in the sense that because you are sensitive, that you will be a little bit cautious about him, which is fine, because you may meet a lot of men like him, and meaning that that they're very sweet, but not necessarily all of them stay that way. But this man will be genuine and generous, and he's going to love you a lot, but he's going to look different than what you want, okay, or what you expect, and you need to really go a little bit deeper with him and really think about the kindness that he gives you, the gifts he gives you. And I don't mean necessarily the physical gifts, but more of also the spiritual gift. And it's okay if it doesn't work for you. You know what I mean? If you don't feel like you have this connection with him, what I want you to do though is be open and at least give him a chance. But not only that, if you decide no at first, that you may go back and decide, okay, well, I want to try it again. I want to see if after first date you go, no, I'm not going to have anything to do with him. And then you start thinking about it and realize, well, there were these qualities that I admired about him. And I shouldn't say that he doesn't look like a toad or anything. He's just not, the way, who you are attracted to physically, usually attracted to. Okay. And as far as work, you know what you're doing. I can see that you know what you're doing, but sometimes it's really frustrating. There's also going to be another man in your life. Unfortunately, he may not have much money. Don't support someone else's habit. And having if you want a relationship, you're going to have to do the work. And I'm talking about the emotional work, realizing that sometimes you put your hand out, and when you have that gut feeling, which is not necessarily wrong, but sometimes you put your hand out because you're afraid, or you feel intimidated, or you don't trust them before you even get to know them. And if your gut says, well, this isn't right, that's not necessarily not to listen to it. But sometimes you get so much into that this isn't the right person, I'm not going to attract the right person, that you don't even give someone a chance. And that's one of the things I think that you need to work on is trusting that the person you will pick will be the right person for you. Okay. And that you've got to learn to have that trust. And that's the reason why you have to separate what you feel, what your gut feeling is yours, and not pick up someone else's energy and they're making an assumption about someone that is not necessarily true. You need to go with your gut feeling. Your money is going to be stable. I don't think you're going to have to worry about that. It doesn't look like you're going to have to worry about that. And you're going to have joy in your life. And I do believe that some of this is not only romantic, but this is something that you finding that other thing that would that has to do with that movement. It has to do with that wheel of fortune and its movement going forward. And it's just, trying something new, which is what I always like to say, live life boldly. Don't be afraid.
Could I ask a question? Hello?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Could I ask a question?
Something I'd like to ask Robin.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. What would you like to ask me?
Well, I do live in Portland. Do you think this is a good place to stay?
Oh,
I
Portland.
think, I do believe for now, I think it is for now, but you have to think about growth. Probably within the next 5 to 10 years. You're okay right now, but in the next 5 or 10 years, you should be really looking for something more. And this may be with this acceleration with the Wheel of Fortune, that this is an opportunity to get to the next step, or if it's something different to. And this is going to be more like not like a fork in the road, but more as a parallel. So that means that you may be doing both for a while until you're able, which is if you're going to school and doing your job, something like that, so that you can be doing something different.
Could I interject something?
Sure.
Back to the relationship. Robin was saying that perhaps this new bon vivant coming into your life you might not immediately connect, but it's in self-realization or second guessing, you might feel better. So let me throw it a little back further. Is there any chance that same logic or analogy could be applied to your existing relationship? Dun, 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 dun. You don't have to do it here. I was just thinking, well, this sounds like a lot. If you're willing to reevaluate a new encounter, is there any chance, or maybe you've already done this multiple times, and that's why you know it's time to sever the relationship or cut the umbilical cord, whatever the necessity. I was just throwing out there because I was trying to draw a parallel to the new opportunity, but it's always better to have a new opportunity than revisit an old, I think. So that's my personal thing, for whatever it's worth. What else? We got a few more minutes, Veronica. So anything else you want to ask?
Are any other people being channeled into you?
Oh, well, we said, well, I'm so upset about that guy. You know.
So. What is it exactly that you're asking me?
Oh.
You're talking about.
Well, I just wondered if anyone else was coming up. But
go ahead. Is there someone specific? Is your father passed?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Has your father passed?
No, but there's a father figure who's passed.
Yeah, he came in too. Did you guys have I feel like it feels like there's a lot of sadness around him. So when he passed, he must have been sad about something. It feels like I'm going to cry. Sorry. It feels like that when he passed, he was sad. So whatever happened, he did not expect it. Okay. And even if it was a long illness, he was not expecting it to happen that way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was he relatively young?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. He didn't.
We'll call 65 young. I think that counts.
I call 65 young since that's how old I am. All right, Stacy.
Okay, good. I think that counts.
Okay.
I'll go with yes.
Okay. I think that we're at the end of the show, so I really appreciate that you called in.
Yes, Veronica. I hope like I said, I'm sorry about the first situation because I was hoping that nosy busybody guy was somebody you would recognize. You know, I don't like when the strangers drop in. I like when the relatives or the friends come in that we can all relate to. See, this one came as a stranger and leaves as a stranger. Anyway, we do want to thank you. You've been a delight. Good luck. Stay well over there in Portland. I'm hoping you all come out of it since you started so early before us, because we're in the throes of it right now. And good luck with all of your future endeavors and spiritual as well as relationships. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Be well.
Thank you. Call us back anytime. We appreciate it. Take care.
All right, wonderful.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, Robin. Like I said, we have a couple of minutes left for us to chit chat. I didn't want to shortchange you too much, but we gave it 20 minutes, so that was good. Yeah, that was a little surprising because usually when someone knocks on your door, so to say, your Sarah Bell, they usually they usually recognized by the person that they're looking to contact. So I was anxious for that to develop so we could hear what he, wanted other than just acknowledgement, But
I think I think her father came in, but I kept on saying no. Her father, this is what I'm going through. I go, it feels like her father, but felt like there was something else, and I had a chill go up my back, and but I didn't. The reason why I was confused about it because her her father that we were talking about was still alive, and that's why I got confused on who, or why I should say I didn't bring him up was because I going, well, he's still alive, and now it makes sense the reason why I got it the way I did.
Not the end of the fact, and I hope we didn't shut the door to someone who really should have had an opportunity. But anyway, who knows? They didn't.
I never
but
know.
Anyway, you never know. Now let's see. Next week, we're hoping to get some guests. We didn't get any callers, thank goodness, that would interrupt the two ladies that did call. But assuming we can get a reservation, folks, please. If you want to speak to Robin, or would like to come on the show, contact her. You see all evening that show email contact is Robin, ROBYN@gmail.com. She'll entertain you in many, many ways, individually or collectively here on the show. You can, if you forget the name, send it to me, Bob@allreview.net, or on Facebook, Bob Bockelman, and I'll glad to patch you through to her. So because we would love to have you on. If you followed along, you can see how interesting and fascinating it is. And in this situation, I'm glad we're able to get both situations addressed, not just talk to the tarot cards, but also the medium part. Because to me, I hate to say it, that's the more interesting because it gets so much more beyond just the one-on-one relations and more the personalities and the et cetera. And just the suspense of it and the mystery of it. It's just cool. Anything else you want to tell us before you say adieu? Miss Robin.
What else I want to tell them? I think you.
Anything else you want to tell us, folks? Did I leave anything out?
I think you did perfect, actually.
Okay. Nothing else?
Huh? What'd you say?
You also have a Facebook account, even though we don't have it. Do you want to tell them that?
Yeah, it's Robin Dennon's, comma psychic. I think it's got a comma in there.
Robin Denon, comma psychic.
And then my website is robindenon.com.
.com. That's easy enough. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you got 4 ways, 3 ways, but I can't count. 3 ways. All right, Robin. Well, we'll talk to you during the week and to see if we got a lot for next Wednesday. We appreciate you sharing our evening with us. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye, dear.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. Okay, folks. It's just about a couple minutes early. As we mentioned, we haven't had a lot of programming this week. We do appreciate Robin coming on because Hump Day had really brought the week to a nice high level. We will try. Sometimes we've been doing some rant reviews during the day with mixing it with a rarity review, trying to get rid of some items that you may or may not be interested in, but just to show some stuff to give you a little bit more entertainment since we haven't got a lot of callers with the interesting topics. As we mentioned, we don't have a rarity review this week because our friend Marsha Rogers has finished with that sale at the warehouse in Bogalusa. So we are throwing out some things to other antique stores. If you know of any, please do it because we'd love to help them show some of their treasures to you all. Whether you buy it or not is not the most important thing except to them, but to take a look at all the wonderful things that antique stores collect. Also, we're working with a couple of nonprofits. One of those would be very, very good. We have a local one that's developing, but we also have one today that's already well established that will be very, very interesting, I think, to you. I'm not going to tell you yet until we finalize it. We have talking to some chefs around the world. So we're still pushing to try and get as many guests as we can for you so you can try and find one, if not all the shows available and interested. All right, until such time, this is Bob Bockelman for Talk to the Tarot and for the New Orleans TV Internet Network, telling you have a good middle of the week, stay safe, and hopefully we're getting out of this. Please, 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 whatever deity you recognize, hopefully you recognize one, do your best to intercede on our behalf. Thank you.